our soul and the evolution of higher consciousness to ultimately get to return back to our soul or to our heart. And so I've always wondered, I said, so if we already come from there, from this pure light soul, why do we incarnate into physical form just to ultimately work to get back there? Why not just stay there?
It's not just that.
Okay, that's what I want.
See, if we departed from the original source of purity, let's call it a potency X.
Okay.
That we descended with certain X potency. Okay. Let me, before I share this hypothesis with you, as a mother or as a father, I would wish that my children become better than me. Won't you agree on that?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Why wouldn't God wish His creation can become better than Him? Okay. So when we are created with such X potency, and we move around in this world, interact, and create a dynamic change within us, and surpass that potency that was gifted to us. Instead of X, let us say we become 1000X at an individual level with that potency. You can surpass. You can become better and better, better than you came out from the source. So that is the promise of heartfulness. I think this is the first time in the history of spirituality we are declaring that our return can be better than when we came, when we descended.
I've never heard that.
And that is the only purpose of creation. Otherwise, what is the fun in creating the world and you return back as what you were before?
That's my question.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
So that's why I shared with you the example of a mother or a father. You prefer your children to surpass you in every way.
Yeah. That's powerful because it's always been a disconnect for me. I'm like, if I'm going back, why did I come?
Well, I also struggle with the same idea because in the way I was brought up in Hinduism, we believe that the soul is immutable. Means it doesn't change. It is the ultimate. It is the purest. There is nothing purer than that.
Yeah.
So, why would you want to change it? Something which is not changeable, immutable, how can you change it anyway?
Right.
Right? This body is temporary. It will last for a few years. So what's the point of evolution of the body? Body cannot evolve during the time that is given to me on this planet, 70 years, 80 years, 100 years maybe. Evolution at a physical level takes many years, many years, how the genetic transfer happens. And it takes millions of years. You can see how we have seen Homo sapiens, how they came from the earlier man to Homo sapiens, which is there today, and how the skull, the body, bones, everything has changed. Right? Who knows, one day you may fly like an eagle or swim like a dolphin, but that will take many millions perhaps. So body cannot evolve during the lifetime I'm gifted with. Soul, according to most religions, will never evolve because it is immutable. Then what's the point? So, and what is that consciousness? We make use of this consciousness so that soul attains a better potential. It realizes a greater potential and move on in that direction of evolution, say.
That's exciting to think about.
Yes, and it will happen. It is experientiable. And soul in its journey, first thing that will happen is your consciousness will shift. And as it shifts, your soul understanding or the potency of the soul will also change.
Is the soul guiding?
Soul is a witness.
Okay.
It keeps witnessing our activities. It's a consciousness that keeps guiding us through the heart. Heart is the one that gets conditioned, the consciousness part of it, the mind. The way we think depends upon how we were trained as children, how we observed in the womb of a mother, her thoughts, the thoughts of father, mother, thoughts of the entire family affects that embryo. So, what we today call epigenetic impact. Also, as we begin to interact with the community, they all influence our lives. You see how we were indoctrinated, love this community and hate this community. It's a product of indoctrination of community as well as the religion. So, parents as well. So first, if you want to evolve, you have to free yourself from such indoctrinations. And then make your own heartfelt decision. Otherwise, you remain slave to community, to such indoctrinations, and they will never allow you to become free.
And so if the soul is witnessing the journey and the person is not choosing, I don't know if it's not choosing, but they're not aware, they're not choosing awareness, or just being indoctrinated and just going with the flow of the worldly things. Is that when they continue just lifetimes until they finally level up in consciousness?
Well, there's a beautiful definition by Patanjali. You heard of Patanjali, right? No, he's the father of yoga.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the name, but I've heard there is a father of yoga.
Yeah, Patanjali. He created 8 steps. And he had written so many aphorisms and second or third aphorisms in his book. He defines yoga, the ultimate state. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha, meaning cessation of tendencies of your heart. And these tendencies are indoctrinations. The moment all these tendencies stops playing around you, stops playing with your mind, you become free. And this free state of mind is able to dive into the ultimate purity, become one with that ultimate purity. And that's what yoga is. Yoga means to become one with the source. Yeah. So, going about this or transcending the impacts of your tendencies, transcending your tendencies is yoga. And how do you transcend a certain tendency? So when you close your eyes and reflect on certain tendencies we have, you recognize that this is not good. How are you going to remove it? Or sometimes you think it is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And when you reflect on it, then you say, oh, after many years of reflection, you would then finally conclude that this too, which I thought was good, it's not very good idea. So, whatever be the tendency, I have to be ready to depart from it.
It's a readiness.
Readiness. And as you practice more and more, it's like, you see, when you are on the ground floor, you can see so much. Let's say you are in Manhattan. You're waiting for your friend. And you decided, okay, we're going to go up on the top, Empire State Building. And you are waiting on top. You have a friend who is also waiting for another friend who is coming, who is waiting on the ground. Now this person, even when he is 2 blocks away, may not be able to see, but you will be able to see from the top of the Empire State Building, even 10 blocks away, your friend is coming, walking, see? Because you are at a very high level. A person who is waiting on the ground will not see until he comes face to face across the street. So similar thing happens with our consciousness. Our understanding, as long as we remain at a lower level, then it's a problem. So it depends on our level of understanding. This level of understanding will change based on where you are at consciousness, with your consciousness. So better the understanding, you'll have a better way of thinking. So to me, these 2 things, right thinking, rather correct thinking and right understanding, they can be easily guided as we practice. As more and more clarity comes, more and more of these indoctrinations are dissolved. I become free from all those things. Only then I can have correct thinking and right understanding of not only of myself, but of others also.
But to get that right thinking, there is that, are you saying there's a struggle that someone has to have to then motivate them to, stop seeing what they're seeing and to go to the next level?
See, when you are listening to others and trying to please others in such a way that they can also resonate with your thinking, I think it is too much to ask for. I'll be happy as long as my thinking changes, my understanding change. And perchance, by chance, if I can also help others improve their way of thinking, I think it's a service. But don't expect that they will be changed, because I have already seen within the family of so many people, one person is meditating, other is not meditating. In fact, that creates so much of gap between the 2. You see, we had done a study, just for interest, the happiness of couples, husband and wife. If both are meditating, what happens? If one is meditating and other is not meditating, what happens? And when both are not meditating, so it was an interesting result. When you meditate, both are meditating, happiness factor was very good. Next best was when they were not meditating. The worst was when one is meditating and other is not meditating.
That's my partnership.
It's such a big gap, and there's always a struggle. You're meditating at bedtime, for example, right? And your spouse demands, I must have, And then you say, no, let me be, I want to meditate. And, when it comes to certain demands, I think it escalates into a war. Or when you go to some place, your friend is meditating and invited you to meditate together, and your other partner says no. And what happens then, you see? So, a couple where only one member is meditating, I think it's quite challenging how to balance that.
I can attest to that.
You sacrifice a lot in the process, and then you wonder, should I have done that?
Do you think the other one who's not meditating, though, they could get inspired, right? Or they could start to reflect.
Definitely. And sometime when they come, they surpass you.
Like the soul.
Yeah, I have witnessed that also. That one couple in New Jersey, wife was meditating. Husband would bring her to the meditation center every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But he would sit only in the car and not meditate. He would just sit there in the car. Wife would go meditate and come back. So he'll wait till she finishes meditation. And after almost 6-7 years of driving her like that, one day he started. And he's doing so much better with meditation than his wife. He just surpassed her.
Now she wish he would have stayed in the car.
Both are meditating, but the point is, I don't know how to judge each one's situation. It's very difficult to conclude.
Yeah.
But this much is a fact, that when one is meditating, other is not meditating, there will always be friction.
Mm-hmm.